button. Make sure you sub to the channel if you're not a member. And also hit the notifications so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos. Salute to the whole entire Lions Den basketball as well as boxing communities. And we are sticking with hoops today. And salute to all of the people that rock with me day ones, as well as the new subs too as well. Before I get this video started, man, let me give a shout out to the brother Too Raw for TV. If you're not subbed to Too Raw for TV, definitely go sub to his channel. He is one of the HNICs of this LDBC thing, and in my opinion, top ranked historian on YouTube. And Versatility channel talks about an array of subjects too. But so salute to the brother Too Raw for TV, man. And we do have some breaking news. According to reports from Shams Sharania, Kevin Durant has no interest in returning to the Golden State Warriors. Okay. Again, Kevin Durant, there was a lot of speculation that the Warriors, Joe Lacob, and the organization was trying to land an all-star, and they were aggressively trying to pursue Kevin Durant. Now, I had already mentioned this before, though. If you go back and go to my previous video, I did tell you that they had prior phone calls, trying to pursue with Phoenix, trying to get Kevin Durant, but the phone call did not last that long. Okay, I did say that, and that was in a live that I did. I want to say it was yesterday. Okay, this was yesterday, and this was the video when I was telling you that they were trying to, the Golden State Warriors were trying to pair another All-Star with Steph Curry, and they were actively going for Zion Williamson as well as Giannis Antetokounmpo. Uh, but here's my thing about this right here, right now. Um, I said that it wasn't going to work, okay? And like I said, I know a lot of Warriors fans, they might be offended by me saying that, but there's the reason why I do say that is I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective, and I'm also looking at it from a legacy perspective. Now, one of the things that Too Raw had pointed out that was very key that I had already said is the legacy perspective, right? There had already been questions about KD and his ability and inability to win a championship on his own. And if he goes back to Golden State, a lot of people, like the real basketball heads and savants and people that really know this game, not just the casuals, they're going to question KD's legacy as a basketball player because they're going to say, well, you ultimately still had to go back to Steph Curry to get it done. You couldn't get it done yourself. And I don't think that Kevin Durant really wants that hanging over his head. Now, true enough, there's some guys that really wouldn't even care as long as they got the rings, as long as they got the hardware. It really doesn't matter to them. But and then also, I look at it like this too. Now, a lot of people are bringing up Draymond Green right now. Do I believe there's some truth in that in terms of the Draymond Green situation? Yeah, but also I do feel like they have moved on. Since then, I mean they've been on podcasts. They've had to sit down. They've actually played, across the water, in terms of the Olympics or whatnot. And they've been able to play together and still be cordial and everything like that. Um, maybe that is a reason. I know a lot of people were saying that in order for a KD move to take place, um, Draymond would have to exit the building and all that other stuff. But there might be a little truth to that. But I think what it really boils down to there is that KD wants to win now. The Warriors right now are in 10th place. Okay, actually they're in ninth. They're ninth or 10th. One of those. At one point they were at 11th or whatnot, and I think KD is in a situation now where he wants to win now. Now, of course, it's still up in the air on where KD is going to go. If I'm a betting man, and if I'm thinking about everything, my first thought is Miami. But then again, I don't know about that, because when I think of Miami, I think about the situation that's going on with Jimmy Butler now, and I know a lot of players are looking at what Jimmy Butler is going through and stuff like that, and maybe KD is like, I don't know about that. I truly don't know if I'm going to take take my talents to South Beach, and then next thing you know, it becomes a situation where Pat Riley starts to take full control of everything again, not giving me the things that I want, and then ultimately running me out of there. I've you know I've looked at it from that standpoint too. But like I said, man, the Warriors situation with KD and Steph and everything like that. Like I said, it ran its course. Okay, they had a phenomenal team. Whether people like it or not, the Warriors had a phenomenal team. You know what I'm saying? I can't take anything away from them. You know what I'm saying? You like it or not, they still were able to win a championship. Warriors fans, they didn't care. They weren't looking at it as a weak move, or KD had to jump on and join forces or anything like that. What they're looking at it as is, hey, we were able to win championships, and we had bragging rights for a couple of years and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of Warriors fans was looking at it as. But um, in the end, I think what it all boils down to though is why would you go back to that situation? And then also, I'm looking at it too from an age standpoint too. This is what I said in the previous video that I did. Right, like um, these guys are older now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't put a lot of stock into age. But you said salute. I'm not surprised by this report. Yeah, salute to you, Cheyenne. Cheyenne, look, man. It you know, like you said earlier, and I was just about to touch on what you had talked about, man. They're older now. KD still wants to win a championship, and he's looking at it like, okay, this is not the team that we had when I was here and we repeated, and I was a Finals MVP. That's just not the team. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors aren't even the same defensive team. You know what I'm saying? Yet alone do they have the same continuity on offense. You know what I'm saying? They might still run the flow offense, which is what they run. You know, as a matter of fact, I got to give a shout out to FYF Lamont. I always give FYF Lamont his just due on this, because you know when we talk about the flow offense, that's something that was very difficult to stop with the Warriors and stuff. And the more that I looked at the flow offense, and the more that I was able to um, really sit down and grasp the concept of how 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 well you could flourish in that offense, how well anybody could flourish in that offense. It made perfect sense why anybody would want to go to the Warriors. And Shyam, this is what we have to understand, man. There was a while, like when you're on your way out of the NBA, when you're on your way out of the NBA, um, there's a franchise in which hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just get my ring here, and I'll play a few minutes and everything, but I'm just here to get a ring and everything, and it'll be sort of a pit stop. The Warriors they were actually that franchise after a while. If you needed a ring, guys were going to come over there. Think about David West. You think about Sean Livingston. He got more playing time. David West, he got a lot of playing time and stuff. You think about DeMarcus Cousins. You think about all them guys. A lot of people started to want to go to the Warriors. The Warriors would be a stop. Whereas back in the days, a lot of people were going to the Chicago Bulls. A lot of people were going to the Boston Celtics. A lot of people were going to the Los Angeles Lakers. There were some people that were going to the Miami Heat. They would be like, okay, hey, look, we're going to stop here. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get my ring and everything. The Warriors, for a while, they seem to be that franchise and everything. But I'm not going to get too off the subject. But like I said, man, KD, you said before the 2018-19 season started, I knew KD was gone. Let me say this, man. Let me say this. Now, of course, I play around a lot, I joke around a lot and stuff, but I want to be candid, and I want to be very serious when I say this, man. I did not like what happened between KD and Draymond, because those guys won together. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Draymond said what he said, man. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes, man, in the heat of the moment, when when the adrenaline is pumping, um, when the adrenaline is pumping, I mean, you say things, you know what I'm saying, out of spite, especially when you're getting into it. I don't like what happened. I really wish that those guys would have sat down, because they could have potentially Cheyenne won. I would say at least two more championships. You know what I'm saying? You said the reason I said that is due to Bob Myers and KD in 2018 million about the contract extension. Yeah, yeah, and that right there too. With Bob Myers, that situation and stuff like that. Man, it just and you bring up a good point too. You bring up good solid points too. I also have to throw that in there about the upper management, and that sort of thing that was going on, the friction that was going in. See, whether we like it or not, you know, whether we like it or not, KD did benefit off of the Warriors organization. You know what I'm saying? Now, there was some things that they could have just, they could have kept their mouth shut about. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Bob Myers, he was wrong for that. But Joe Laker was no better by letting Bob Myers walk. You understand what I mean? Also, Draymond, he shouldn't have did what he did. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, um, you know, saying anything. That could have been handled. If he felt the way that he felt, he should have did that behind closed doors. That like Draymond should have handled that behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to feel that way, but handle that behind closed doors. But at the same time, I feel like KD, you showed your mental weakness by you just being like, you know what, I'm out of here and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? When all of y'all could have just hashed all of that out. I mean, that's just me, Cheyenne. You understand what I mean? That's just me. Nikki Steves, I'll see you in a bit. Make sure y'all go sub to the homie Nikki Steves, man. Great channel, great content over there, man. Talks about basketball. Going to be covering football in terms of the Super Bowl, and he is an Eagles fan too, as well as a Sixers fan too, just like I am. I'm a Sixers fan. So salute to Nikki Steves. Thank you for stopping through. He said I'm surprised by KD's interested in Warriors return. Yeah, exactly. You know, exactly. You said both KD and Draymond should have handled that situation in the locker room. Yeah, exactly. I think more so for Draymond, you know, because I think when Draymond had found out, and there was rumors about it, and see, but Draymond went off the rails, but he really didn't understand that he felt slighted. KD felt slighted by the front office. He felt like, okay, well, damn, I helped bring 2 championships and stuff like that, but then you know Draymond's argument is like, well, we won with you and we won without you. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Draymond wasn't lying, but at the same time, like I said, you still could have handled that in a better way. You know what I'm saying? It could have been handled, you know, one on one, or somebody there to mediate. It's just like with the situation with Klay Thompson, Cheyenne. I'm a Klay Thompson fan. Okay, I'm a Klay Thompson fan, and I ride with Klay the fullest. I don't like how Klay Thompson. I don't like how the fans disrespected Klay Thompson. I don't like how the organization did Klay Thompson. Now, this third thing I'm gonna bring up. A lot of people they get on Steph Curry. Oh well, Steph Curry could have did more and stuff like that. Steph Curry probably did do a lot. I don't see Steph Curry being cutthroat like that to do a person like that. Steph Curry does have the keys to the organization, but there's still only so much that Curry can do. Now, a lot of people felt like Curry should have been like, you know what, if Klay goes and I go, that sort of situation or something like that. But either way, you know what I'm saying, we could look at it from all types of different angles. But here's my thing, though. Klay Thompson was just as important to that organization as Steph Curry was and Draymond was. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like he wasn't appreciated. Listen, they still won a championship in 2022. This is with a Klay Thompson that had 2 major injuries, and he was still fighting and doing his best to come back. It wasn't like Klay Thompson. He actually came back before he should have. I think he came back a little bit early. I think when we talk about I think it was the knee, if I'm not mistaken. One of those injuries, he came back early or whatever, more than what he should have. But the thing about it is, you have somebody, they're fighting to get back on the court, whereas you got guys like Zion Williamson and Joel Embiid that, they just want to sit there and wait, and I'll just play when I'm ready and stuff like that. No, Klay Thompson was fighting to get ready. He was playing through the pain. He was playing through trying to get his rhythm back, playing through all of the stuff. They're saying that, Klay Thompson, he can't do this anymore. He's not the same defender. He's making us look bad. And then when he got hit, his ego got hit when he had to go to the bench and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I think he felt some type of way. And it was a disrespectful situation. You know what I'm saying? There was even some people saying that, questioning if Clay could even play anymore. You know what I'm saying? But me, myself, I had some questions about Clay, but I was like, I wasn't going to give up on Clay because I knew what kind of curveballs got thrown to Clay. And Clay was a hard worker. Clay, he played, he was good to the game. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't mean to go off the subject and off the realms, but I had to bring that situation up because it ties into how disrespectful the Warriors organization was to some of these players and stuff. And I know the Warriors, they get looked at, for a while they looked at the organization like this was like a peaceful organization, and they have their shit in order and all that other stuff, but it just wasn't like that over there. And I heard a lot of stuff that was going on in that front office and stuff. It was a mess. Now, the way that they dressed it up and everything, it made it look pretty good. But then you started seeing different stuff come out, like the video they got leaked with Jordan Poole, which really wasn't a big deal to me, but the fact that they leaked the video, it was a big deal. The whole situation with Draymond and KD. It's not a big deal, but it is a big deal if it's on TV and all this other stuff, and you got a known enforcer himself, like DeMarcus Cousins being the peacemaker and stuff like that. It made it look, it made it look more worse than what it was. You said it's crazy how some of these Warriors fans ain't calling out Steve Kerr and management because I felt they fumbled this. I'm glad you brought it up now, and I was just getting ready to get to the obvious. Listen, man, Cheyenne, this is going to be hard, and a lot of people disagree with me when I say this. Steve Kerr, he benefited off of Mark Jackson, okay? He benefited off of Mark Jackson, okay? Did Steve Kerr do some good things? Yes, he did, but he benefited off of Mark Jackson, okay? He benefited off of Mark Jackson. This was Mark Jackson's foundation. Let's not forget Mark Jackson. If you go look at Mark Jackson's his coaching record and what he did in the playoffs, him starting out, it wasn't that bad. So he was on pace. And then you also got to realize that he laid the foundation in terms of discovering Steph and Clay. Now, of course, they evolved into great players over time. But let's talk about Steve Kerr for a second. There's a lot of things about Steve Kerr that doesn't often get talked about, but he has shown his hand. Let's go ahead and state the obvious, and this had nothing to do with Golden State right here. This just had just to show you what type of guy that this guy was. Well, I always go back to what happened this summer with Jason Tatum. Okay, we will never forget that. You have a guy, okay, who is, uh, MVP caliber player coming off a championship. No, he wasn't a Finals MVP, but yet and still he's the superstar of his team. And you play this man, you know, you play him during the Olympics and everything, and then all of a sudden he has to take a back seat to guys. And this is no disrespect to Drew Holiday. This is no disrespect to Derek White, because I like them and I like what they do, but they're not Jason Tatum. And the way that he did Jason Tatum was foul. You know what I'm saying? Which leads me to talk about, like a Klay Thompson and everything. Listen, we know that Klay Thompson was struggling, and we know that you said Steve Kerr did Brandon Ingram dirty by starting Austin Reeves over him in the. Yeah, man. it's just a lot of things that Steve Kerr has done, and you see it, and a lot of people don't really call it out. They don't really give Steve Kerr the smoke. And then when you try to give Steve Kerr the smoke, a lot of people give him a whole lot of excuses and stuff like that. Listen, there were people that were trying to sit up there and say that Draymond was acting a fool and stuff like that with Steve Kerr, because there was a time when Steve Kerr and Draymond were clashing really, really bad. And at first, everybody was trying to blame Draymond and stuff like that. But I said, wait a minute, man. I can't just sit here all of a sudden and just put this all on Draymond. We got to start calling Clay. I'm talking about that Steve Kerr out for all of this stuff. You understand what I'm saying, Cheyenne? So, and he, it's like he's not coming to the defense of a lot of things that go on. A lot of the coaches, man, back in the day, they used to go to bat for their players. Chuck Daly, he went to bat for Dennis Rodman. He tried to go to bat. He tried to go to bat for Rick Mahorn. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Phil Jackson. He went to bat for Dennis Rodman. You know what I'm saying? When he was on the Chicago Bulls, he went to bat for Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Even Scottie Pippen, he went to bat for. You understand? Uh, Pat Riley, he went to bat for his players when he was in L.A. As much as I'm not feeling Pat Riley right now because of everything that's going on and stuff like that. But he went to bat for his players. You understand? You said Draymond told Steve Kerr at OKC, and that's true. That's true. He's not. These players are not robots. Listen, I do. Like I said, Cheyenne, you've been on my channel for a while. You probably go to other channels, man. You probably been within the LDBC. Draymond, a lot of guys that I'm cool with, man. They don't really rock with Draymond like that. Me, I happen to be in the minority of guys that like Draymond. I don't like the tacky shit that Draymond does. But in Draymond's prime, I'm talking about when Draymond was that defensive player of the year. Draymond, that does got the record for some of the statistics that he did in the season. One of the only players they got assists, rebounds, all that other stuff or whatever. I'm talking about that Draymond that was seen as a point guard, point forward, all that other stuff. If he was available and we could have him in Philly, yes, I would want Draymond. Yes, I would. Okay, but that doesn't excuse some of the stuff that he does. However, a lot of stuff I don't put on Draymond, you know what I'm saying? Because there have been some cases, like in this case with Steve Kerr, he was exactly right. They're not fucking robots. He's not. Said Draymond is a throw type of player. You hardly see that in 2 games. Yeah, he is. You know what I'm saying? And he's diminishing. He's diminishing as a player. He's getting older, man. I mean, listen. When we talk about the Warriors and KD going back and stuff like that, those guys got a lot of mileage on their body, especially when we talk about Steph Curry, Draymond, uh, uh, Klay Thompson. You got to think about it, Cheyenne. For pretty much the 2010s, the Golden State Warriors were going deep in the playoff or in the finals. They were in the finals pretty much. That's a lot of basketball. Not to mention, Steph Curry in the off season, playing the Olympics, doing whatever they had to do or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Having to deal with injuries and stuff like that. That's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of mileage and stuff like that. That's why I said, like, everybody's like, oh man, what's wrong with you, KD and Steph Curry? They're gonna win championship. No, they're not, because that's a lot of mileage on their body. Like, those guys aren't a Shea Gilchrist Alexander who is just now entering the phase of his prime in his 20s. These guys are not Luka, where they haven't even reached their prime yet. These guys are not Anthony Edwards, who has yet to sniff his prime, who has athleticism out of this world. These guys are not Victor Wembanyama, who is just his second year in the league. Okay? These guys are not Ja Morant. They're not in the phase of where Jokic is and all that other stuff. And man, these guys are still relatively young. These guys that we're talking about when we talk about Steph Curry, when we talk about Draymond Green, when we talk about KD and them guys like that, they have a lot of mileage on their body. You know what I'm saying? And there's only so much you can do. Can Steph Curry still shoot? Come over here to an LA Fitness, or come to like a regular adult league and probably put up like 120 points? Yes, he could. But on an NBA level and trying to win championships and stuff, and you're talking about an OKC team that is hungry and vicious right now, when you're talking about a Rockets team who smells blood right now and are young, and a young Jalen Green who has athleticism out of this world, that's what you have to put into its proper perspective. You said Steph, Clay, and Draymond went to 5 straight NBA finals. People don't understand that adds up to 3 years itself. Exactly, because that's 82 plus games. You know what I'm saying? 82 plus games. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of mileage, and you got to think about it. Steph has dealt with injuries. He dealt with injuries when he first came in. A lot of people were questioning Steph Curry. Was he going to be able to make it? The reason why a lot of people wonder why Shyam, I have Steph Curry so high. Why you like Steph Curry? All he does is do this and do that. Because I followed Steph Curry. I'm gonna tell you how I started to be on Steph Curry, okay? I'm going to tell you how I started to follow this guy's transition, okay? Now, I'm not a hardcore fanatic like some of these LeBron fans with it. They're willing to put their life on the line and no shit like that. No, that's not what it is. But I appreciate what Steph Curry brings to the game. When he played us at Duke, okay, I was like, man, I wasn't taking Steph Curry serious, man. I heard about the dude from North Carolina, whatever, a little light-skinned cat, but I was like, man, whatever, man. This guy, whatever, man. He played Duke, okay? He played Duke. And I watch college basketball. Shout out to T. Price, because he knows what I'm talking about. He watches college basketball, too. When I got a chance to watch Steph Curry and the way that he just absolutely destroyed Duke, and there was absolutely nothing that they could do. And this was when Coach Krzyzewski was still coaching. I said, oh man, this dude is gonna cause terror in the NBA. And then ever since then, I started following him. Now they didn't, I'm a Duke fan, and I'm over there cheering for Davison. I wanted Davison to be like a Cinderella story and everything like that. But then he got to the NBA. People were saying all the obvious. He's too small. He's too frail. All this other stuff. He started getting injured quite a bit. You got to remember, Monte Ellis was there. He was seen as the lead guard, all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? He got there. Next thing you know, he got injured, kept consistently injuring his ankle and stuff like that. And people were questioning, was he gonna make it? Was he gonna amount to everything? You know what I'm saying? But there was Mark Jackson there, right? And Mark Jackson said, I believe in him. I believe in him. And he never gave up on him. And next thing you know, you started to see the maturation process or whatever. And then, of course, Steve Kerr came in, you know what I'm saying? And the rest was history. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I really started to pay. That's why, like, when it comes to Steph Curry, I don't sit here and all these people that say the stuff that they say about Steph Curry and stuff like that. I'm like, man, you really don't know basketball if you don't like a guy like Steph Curry, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy is insane, and everybody talks to me about, oh yeah, LeBron. But last time I checked, there's the whole league trying to be like Steph Curry. There's the whole league trying to shoot jumpers like Steph Curry. You got all these kids trying to shoot like Steph Curry. You don't have anybody trying to play like LeBron or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's gonna be 6'8", 6'9", you know what I'm saying, with athleticism and his body type out of this world. It's just not gonna happen. A lot of people aren't blessed with those genetics. You know what I'm saying? What's up with it, Lemon Pepper Lou? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go sub to Lemon Pepper Lou. Haven't seen much of you, man, but you know how I do, man. We still grinding out in this hole regardless, you know what I'm saying? And you got to stay grinding, you know what I'm saying? Whether 2 or 3 are gathered, whether one gathered, none there, you know what I'm saying? Million people there, man. You still got to keep going, man. Don't give up on your grind. Don't give up on your hustle. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead, flex and tussle. You feel me? But thing about it is, man, you know what I'm saying? Just to spin the block, talking about originally what we were talking about, like I told you, Lou, Cheyenne, everybody that's up in here, okay? Kevin Durant said he's not returning to the Warriors, okay? I think he sees the writing on the wall. You said how many times we get mad about the way basketball plays today. Yeah, but you know what? Hey, Lou, starting to make a comeback. You know what I'm saying? Listen, people gonna pay attention to basketball again. The writing's on the wall. Matter of fact, some of y'all should be rejoicing right now. You got a killer, okay? An absolute murderer, an absolute guy that wants to smoke in a Luka Doncic in a LA jersey. Who does that remind you of? Now, look, I'm not going to put him on the level of Kobe. We know Kobe, 5 rings, you know what I'm saying? 3-peat, you know what I'm saying? Repeat, all that, you know what I'm saying? Brought the Larry O'Brien, you know what I'm saying, to Tinseltown, you know, several times in his career and everything. You know what I'm saying? But when I talk about the mentality, when we talk about the viciousness, man, people want to see that, Lou. They are anxious to see Luka play on Saturday. They're not even talking about LeBron. Yes, later on, I'm going to talk about this conspiracy that's going on. Did LeBron know? All that other stuff. Yes, we are going to cook on that. Yes, I am. Because there's a lot of, theory to that. A lot of people still think LeBron knew. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. But think about, this has shaken up the basketball world. Now people are intrigued. Now we could get back to basketball. The clown show is coming to an end. You should be happy, Lou. They're talking about exploring to bring physicality back. You know what I'm saying? We want to bring back to the basket back. We want to bring them, the post game back. Maybe Wemby can be a start. Look, I know he shoot jumpers, but he leads the league in blocks. Okay? We got an SGA who doesn't say anything. He just shuts the fuck up and he plays ball, just like what they used to do back in the 80s. Okay? We got a Cleveland Cavaliers and we got an OKC. Dare I say maybe a rivalry. Dare I say the ratings are through the roof. Without who? Your LeBron, having a LeBron there and all this other stuff. Don't need him there. You know what I'm saying? You got all these different teams in here that now we could pay attention to. We could pay attention to some of these players besides looking at one goddamn player all the time. You know what I'm saying? Basketball has to evolve. What did they say in Nike? Basketball never stops. So why should we just stop at LeBron? We didn't stop at Kobe. We didn't stop at Jordan. We didn't stop at Magic. You ain't stop at Kareem. You ain't stop at Larry. Why are we stopping at LeBron? No. This motherfucker got to continue. And on top of that, listen, you have to appreciate the sport is not a person. The sport is not a person. Basketball is a craft. It's just that it's put in the hands of a person. You understand what I mean? So what I'm saying is like we have to learn to appreciate it as a whole. Sit down and watch the Pistons. The Pistons, if you don't know, everybody's looking at the Pistons as if they in the 11th or 12th. No, the Pistons are in 6th place right now. Everybody like, oh man, they gonna lose to the Cavs tonight. No, they not. The Pistons are not the same team that they were 3-4 years ago. This is the team that you gotta watch out for. All that stuff that y'all, all this stuff, that's why, and that's what's wrong with the marketing. You said I want to see the 80s Showtime Lakers with Luka. That's probably not gonna happen. I've always said that. It's not going to be, Showtime can never be duplicated, man. You know what I'm saying? First off, in order for Showtime to be duplicated, these guys got to be having an insane amount of physical fitness, which the only guy that I see that really like, you know, run up and down like that is like a Houston Rockets team. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a high octane motor to run what they were running, and on top of that, you got to be skilled and gifted enough to even play in the half court, because you got to remember you still had Cap there, aka Kareem, to be able to slow it down back to the basket and something like that. I can see the San Antonio Spurs doing something like that. That's why I like Wemby. A lot of people, they wonder, why do you like Wemby, man? Wemby is this and Wemby is that. Wemby, y'all think this is a 7'4" motherfucker that just sits there and trots up and down the court? No, Wemby will block your shot, and he's running with the 6'2" nigga. He's running with the 6'5" nigga. He's up there right with you. Lou, you played basketball. Cheyenne, I'm pretty sure you played basketball, nigga. Like, anybody that's under 6'5", they know what I'm talking about. If like, for instance, like, Lou, if you like 6'2", 6'3", nigga, you rebounding the ball, and you already got a 6'8", 6'9", up there beating everybody up the floor, and you could just hoist the ball up to him, and nobody's within reach of him, and it's just, it's night, nigga, that is a blessing, man. So why wouldn't you want a Wemby on your team? Nigga, 7'4", nigga, and he's running with me, and he's handling the rock. Nigga, you are out your goddamn mind, bro. Yeah, I know. Valanciunas trade to the Kings. Yeah, I saw it. I'm on it, man. Yeah, but that, I mean, we already knew that the Kings were gonna make moves, but that's really not I mean, I like Valanciunas, man. I would have liked him with the Sixers, man, but Valanciunas is good for his rebounding has went down over the last couple of years. Said once LeBron leaves, the NBA will bring some physicality back. LeBron, he is physical, but it's like he's bulldozing his way against guys. You know, in this, he came in just off the tip of the arrow when their physicality was kind of trying to go down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but shout out to Lemon Pepper Lou for bringing the news. Nevertheless, Jordan Valanciunas has been traded to the Kings. You said LeBron just lazy. Listen, man. LeBron just wants things. He wants things in his control. You know what I'm saying? And now he's seeing the writing on the wall. He sees that, you know, hey, LA is trying to move in another direction. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what he's trying to see, you know. I mean, what they're trying to tell him, you know. I mean, I could get on here all day, Cheyenne, and cook LeBron and talk about LeBron this and LeBron that and everything like that. But like, honestly, Cheyenne, the shit gets boring to me, man. I like talking about other stuff. I'm at the point now, we need to diversify our conversation and let's talk about WNBA. Nobody want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about, like, I'll say, hey, what's up with Dyson Daniels? A lot of y'all motherfuckers wouldn't even know who Dyson Daniels is. You know what I'm saying? You said the main problem is Adam Silver. Man, fuck Adam Silver. I mean, I wish his ass would get up out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's just as big as a problem as LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Joe Dumars should be in the head nigga in charge. You know what I'm saying? You said Richard Blazeland back in black. Did more. So survive. What's going on? How you doing, man? How you doing? But like I said, man, the NBA needs a change. You know what I'm saying? You said David Stern would not take the bullshit. No, he wouldn't. He turning over in the grave, man. He turning over in his grave right now. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I kind of like what's going on, Lou, because now the front offices are showing guys, okay, hey, look, we got to take the power back into our control. You know, like I said, I'm with the players. I feel like the players do deserve their freedom, but with the CBA and everything, they're trying to take advantage of it. You got guys like Zion that don't want to show up to work with your hard hat, but yet still you got these guys fighting to get on the roster. Like Quentin Oliveri, there's no reason why Quentin Oliveri should have been cut. We all know that he should be playing. We all know. And look, I want Bronny to succeed? Yeah, I want Bronny to succeed, but right now he's just not on that level. Hell, you just hit your first 3-pointer. You know what I'm saying? You got Elijah Arenas, Gilbert Arenas' son, who is the #1 guard in the nation, about to go to USC. Now you're going to see a difference between Elijah Arenas and what he brings to the table in comparison to Bronny James. You understand what I mean? You're going to see a difference. You already see a difference between Cooper Flagg in comparison to Bronny James. But like I said, I don't blame Bronny James. You know what I'm saying? We all know why the circus show happened. So like I said, man, if you're just coming in here, Demo, Kevin Durant has no interest in going to Golden State. This is according to Shams Charania. You said Bronny shouldn't have never left college, man. Like I said, Lou, he should have went to a junior college. If we're really gonna be honest, he should have went to a junior college. Hone your skills, man. Get better. But it was his father's selfishness. And see, LeBron could have waited. Like he could have been if LeBron signed that extension for 2-3 years, you know what I'm saying? You said chat lights up. Yeah, appreciate it, man. If he signed for 3 years, Bronny could have played 2 years, 2-3 years at USC or whatever, and then they could have did a farewell tour and did it like that. You know what I'm saying? Then got him in there and played his little minutes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you so in a rush to do, you so in a rush to get everything and have it your way and everything. Now I don't mind nepotism, but at the same time, like him getting minutes and the minutes that he getting when you got guys in here sacrificing their time with their family. You got guys in here, sacrificing their bodies. They putting their body through 8-hour workouts, through training and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And they're not able to get a call, but you're able to get your son in there and stuff like that. How you think people are looking at that? So I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, Demo. But like I said, man, Kevin Durant, man, he, a lot of people probably feel like he made a good decision. There's going to be some people, there's going to be some Warriors fan that probably feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be like, man, you could have came back here won championships and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? But the team is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to see it like, they're putting the band back together. It's a whole different team. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you got Steve Kerr and everything, but the personnel is different. I think some of those guys' mentality on the team is different. You know what I'm saying, than what they had in I think it was what 2018 stuff like that, man. So uh, yeah, that's that's what took place, man. But um, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna roll out, man. I appreciate everybody pulling up, like, share, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Shouts out to the whole entire LDBC basketball boxing community. Until then, man, I'm gone.